Bum, bum, bum. Good morning, everybody. Hello. It's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here today on Tuesday. It's Tuesday. Good morning, everybody. Hi, PK. Hi, Mary. Hi, Bonnie. Hi, Jenny. Hi, Maritza. Hi, Rosanna. Hello, Danielle. Hi. You guys, it's the last day of January, and it is officially the last day of Softflex projects. It just so happens that yesterday I got another box in the mail, so we'll open that one tomorrow. It's not Softflex. What is it? Something else. Good morning. I'm hung up. I always get hung up in my braid. I got a little Rosanna Bradford on this morning in the roses garden. These are my little owl earrings. I've had these for quite a while. It looks like maybe I gotta shine them up a little bit. Well, they're quite spiffy, but everything always gets hung up in my braid. Good morning, Angel. Good morning, Melinda. Hi, Joey. Good morning. It is still freezing cold over here in Minnesota. It is currently 10 below, but there's no snow. When it's this cold, there usually isn't any snow. It's usually just cold, which is good. Can anyone believe it is the last day of January? No. I was like, hey, Shannon. We better get to work on that FOC and that inspirational bundle. We looked at it last night, which is why I was a little late getting all the posts up. So I did post all the things from the sale. I combined the Thursday earring sale, made sure everybody got their free earrings and all that business with the Monday Claim It Live Bead sale. And so it was a little longer than normal. It took me a little while. I didn't get done till about 9 o'clock, but it is what it is. I hadn't even noticed before you mentioned this. Yeah, last day of January. Tax time, FYI. Sales tax due. Sales tax is due. Hello, Florida is hot. Oh, sad. Me and Shannon were talking yesterday because before she was leaving, I was like, you might want to start your car up because it was 13 below yesterday. So she was starting her car, and then I decided, don't let me forget. Okay, for Christmas, we're going to get Shannon a heated vest for downstairs to wear and a heated socks. Because this girl is a freeze baby. She's always freezing. And she, it's 75 in here. She's like in her coat. I'm like Shannon. She's like, no, I just need to go to Florida. She was talking because she likes to go to Florida and lay on the beach and just burn up. And I was just like, oh, that would just kill me, but okay. Yeah, keep it a secret. They have them. They're kind of spendy. They're like $150. But I'm like, it's way cheaper than running the space heater. So they have battery packs and they have vests. You can get them at like Cabela's and Dick's Sporting Goods, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm gonna get her that. And socks with the battery packs. We'll keep it a secret. Good job, Mary. The cold sounds great. Ah, it's not great. It's killing my hands. Anyways, so that's what I got going on today. Today is the last day of the month. Whew. What do I got rocking today? Well, I was supposed to wake up and I was supposed to edit my video. Then I spilled cat food all over the floor. Then I had to clean that up, so that took some time. Mr. Bunsen was not impressed with me. Space heaters are expensive and they can be dangerous, yes. So I had to clean up all the cat food, and then I got to checking emails, and then I was checking emails, and I was responding to emails, and some things that had to be done, for the taxes. So then I had to look up some stuff. So moral of that story is I did not get my video edited this morning, so I'll probably do that this afternoon. And then I'll probably post it this afternoon. Weird. I'm not seeing other people's comments. You might have to log out and log back in, Angel. Sometimes if you click into the video from Facebook and not like from the YouTube app, it gets weird. Well, you did wake up, and that, my daddy used to say, any day you wake up is a good day. Yes, it's a good day. I have a plan for today. I think it's gonna go good. I usually struggle, I'm usually like really struggle on Tuesday because I work all weekend. So like on Friday I go to the bead store. I know you guys don't see me, but behind the scenes. Good morning. Good morning, Nancy. So I work all weekend. So Saturday I work, Friday I go to the bead store all day, and then I come back. And then like Friday night, me and Jeff like do something, like whatever, that's like our watch a movie or, you know, go to dinner or whatever. And then Saturday I do the SKU list all day, and I do the splitting up of all the things, like, you know, pricing and whatnot. And then Sunday I record videos all day long. And so then Monday we have the sale, which is usually a long day. And then by Tuesday I'm just like, oh. Good morning, Rita. See if you are in the live chat or the top chat. Oh yeah, I forgot. I was gonna. Good morning, Deborah. I was gonna post. This photos. So yesterday after the sale, I edited a video this morning. Some more earrings into my Etsy shop. Good job. I had some people message me, and I asked them if I could. So we discussed this whole like comment situation, and they were like, oh, and I was like, yeah. So I asked them if I could use their photo as an example, and they said that I could. But basically, they sent me a photo of what they were seeing on their screen, like of a screenshot, and how their name was above other people's name for the things, claiming things. And so then they were like, well, that, you know, why didn't I get the thing? And I said, well, because if we go back in the video after it's posted, after the live is over and it's posted, what shows on the video shows what our comments are, like how we're getting our comments. And so we went back to the video, we took a screenshot of that same item, that same time clip, and it shows what we see on the comments and the order of the people and the way in which we're receiving the comments. And they were like, oh, and I was like, yeah. So they said they didn't know it was different. So I can show the photo of, they said I could show their photo of like what they seen versus what we see, and the whole comment debacle. And I'm just like, yeah, so we have to just go off this because this is what we see. And then when the video reposts, that's what we have to refer to. I never knew about the top chat and the live chat. Thanks for the hint. That explains why I didn't see everything every once in a while. Yes, top chat. Earrings. Yes, earrings are on their way, PK. No fear. Somebody, I don't remember who it was. I was doing the list yesterday, and they had ordered, and then they should have got a free one, but they never picked one out. So I just picked one for that person, but I can't remember who it was for. I think it might have been for Heather. I can't remember. I don't think Heather's on here, sorry. I don't see her. But yeah, so I just went down and picked some. Or if you're that person and you just get some like random earrings, I put a note in the invoice because I was like, hey, you didn't pick any, so I just picked these because they're supposed to be free. Yeah, top chat on YouTube. There's top chat, and then it depends too on YouTube how you have your like settings. So you can see, just like on Facebook, you can see like all comments, or you can see like most relevant comments, like that kind of stuff. Seems wonky, but it makes sense. Yeah. I will have you know that I wasn't the biggest spender this time around. Sad, PK. Goals. You guys. I'm so excited about going to the store. I don't know if Jeff's going to be back this Friday. I don't think he is. Maybe. I'm going to have to call Amber. I don't think he's going to be back till next Friday, but I don't know. I got to see it. But anyway, if he is back, we're going to have a whole new set of Tucson beads, and I'm so excited. But if he's not back, I'm still going to be excited because we have all kinds of fun things hiding in the basement. An underachiever. Jeez, you guys are giving PK so much crap. She's never gonna order earrings ever again. I think you're gonna be styling, PK. Okay, so let's get rocking and rolling on this doings. So we're still working on this dang knotted necklace, but we're almost done. The reason I didn't finish it is number one, I was busy, but also because I want to show you how I end it without using a clasp, because I think that's important, right? Because that's kind of like a thing we want to know. So I grabbed up these wood beads. We sold these a while ago. These are just wood beads from the basement. I know you guys said, keep going with the crystals or something, but I was like, I think I like the wood ones. So I grabbed up these from the basement, so I'm going to add those because it wasn't long enough to go all the way over my head. So I'm going to put on like 4 beads on each side or 5 beads on each side, and then we'll tie that off. And then, since this is the last day of Softflex, these are super easy and quick to make, so I figured we would have time to make these. This is project 6 with the leather knotted bracelets. So I just grabbed up this, like, I think this is 2mm. Yeah, this is 2mm leather, and so I grabbed up that because I think it only had like 1 or 2 beads. They were large hole beads. So we'll do that. It'll be easy. Is it date night? Good morning. Hi, Heather. Try 3rd. For some reason, for some people, the comment is delayed from the live chat and shows up on their screen. Mine always waits for others. So polite. Oh, that's lovely. Super easy and quick for you, but not for me. No, Mary, it's going to be super easy for you after this video. I'm not going to make a guarantee, but most likely. When does the FOC due? The FOC is due on the 7th of February. Well, technically it's due on the 6th of February. The FOC is due on the 6th of February, and we'll draw on the 7th. So you want to have your pictures in by the 6th of February, which is, I think, next Monday. Is that next Monday? Yeah. Yeah. And same with the inspirational bundle, if you have photos to share about that. I have not been, I said I was going to do that, but I didn't because we had to go and put beads together yesterday, so I didn't do that either. But I'm going to do that today. I put people on the FOC list to download all their photos, put it on the FOC list in between the sales taxes and editing the video. I can do it. Super easy and quick. Oh no, what is this drama? Hello? IT problems? On a Tuesday? Why? Alright. Okay, IT problems, what are you doing? No. Yeah. Let's see if I remember how to do this. Properties? I think it's properties. No, I broke it. Now I done did it. What the heck? Alright, hold on. We can do it. I'm like, oh yeah. We'll, it'll be super easy. We'll just do this up. We can't do it if we can't see. Okay. Okay. Ugh, why is there so many things open on this phone? Okay, let's try this again. 47, 47, 47, 47. Yeah. Go. No. It says no, no to that. 168,010. How about now? Don't mind me. Trying to get my life together here. 168,010. Well, what the world, man? Failure. It says that. It says connection failure. But why? One 192168016. Grr. Grr. Okay. The red dragon. Red dragon is giving me havoc. Jeff! On an up note, the intercom system is working. Is IT in the house? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe we don't get to do beading today. Who knows? I'm thinking of trying to sell my jewelry on Etsy, but I think it might be too much for me to handle. Is there some way to sell my jewelry? Deborah, do you make like lots of the same item, or do you just make singular items? Droid 2, Droid 3. Ha! Okay. Okay. Hold on, babe. Hold on. I can do it. Oh, just kidding. Boo. Alright, well, I quit. I don't know what's going on. Not a problem. Now I really messed it up. Look at that. Okay, well, we got that going on anyway. So that's good. This is not working. Is this working? Come on, this is working. Okay, I'm gonna try one more time. If it doesn't work, then that's it. Give up, quit. One more thing I can try. It's Wi-Fi, yo. There's no port. Killing me. Yes.
Are you connected at all?
Yes. Why? Do you not have internet?
I have zero internet.
You have no internet. It's an internet issue.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. I deleted all of my cameras, so now I have big problems. Let's have to fix it.
Yeah, my phone's even not connected. I've been trying the last couple minutes, but
My computer says it's connected.
my computer doesn't. I've turned it off and on and it's still saying connecting and it's
The little circle?
yep.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, I guess we don't have internet. All in all, the house, some of the internet isn't working. I don't know. Anyway, so I guess we'll just have to table this for maybe tomorrow. I guess, because I can't do it. I don't think I can do it up here. You're not gonna be able to see. I don't think we could see you at all if the internet was down. Yeah. Sometimes, well, because Shannon's in the basement, like sometimes our internet is because it's Wi-Fi, so it'll get weird. Like ours will probably go out, but mine's like connected, whereas hers is Wi-Fi Bluetooth from the basement and it has to get to the box up here. Same with Jeff, his has to get to the box down here. Mine is here next to the box. So I don't know. I guess we can't do beading today. I would like to point out that if you are a person who is doing like, you could do wholesale jewelry, okay? So you could do wholesale jewelry, but in order to do wholesale jewelry most of the time, you have to make multiples of the same thing. So there's websites like Fair, where you could set up an account. You could say like, my minimum order is for $150. You have to order $150 for me in order for me to fulfill your order. Then you could set up listings the same as you would on Etsy, but they would be like a picture of your item, like say it's this necklace, and you say you get 5 of this same necklace for, you know, $200. And then people can go onto that website and they can purchase from you. Now, the thing about doing wholesale is like, once you do wholesale like that, it's no longer like yours. Like you sell it to a company, they might repackage it, they might put their brand on it or something. Like at that point, they've purchased that item and they're gonna rebrand it to be like it's yours. But that is an option. You can do that. My suggestion for that is that I would not post anything. Same with Etsy. Don't post anything that you don't already have made. Like, don't have this one and take a picture of it and be like, yeah, I have 5 of these, they're $200, but you don't have the other 4 made, because that's gonna put you into a time crunch where you're gonna need to like have these made, because they're gonna want them. Like there's gonna be like a 2-day shipping thing. You don't wanna be sitting around making 5 knotted necklaces like in a hurry. That's how people get into trouble on Etsy, is they'll say they have things and they may have one of them, but they'll say they have like 50. And they're like, oh, nobody will order it. But sometimes they do. They'll be like, oh, that's a cool thing. I'm going to order 32 of them for my boutique. And then you got to make 32 because otherwise you're not going to fulfill your orders. So that is why, that is something that I learned on the internet. And that's why me and Shannon, we don't ever post anything that we don't already have. We don't post, like, even though I have a sublimation machine, we don't post like, oh, we can make this design on your t-shirt and we can make this design on your t-shirt, and we have like little mock-ups of the t-shirts. We don't post anything unless we already have it ready. Number one, the reason we do that is because we're already crunched for time. Number two, our shipping times are important to us. We like you to order it and ship it and get it, and it's fast shipping. That's important. So we don't want to be like, oh yeah, order this and in 5 to 7 days we might make it and then ship it out another 5 to 7 days from now. We don't do that. Plus, I don't like that. It gives me a lot of stress because then I have a list of things that I have to do on top of the like normal everyday business things that I have to do, and that does not work for me. I get shut down. I always loved The Invisible Neighbor. What? Randy, you said you were tired and the universe has listened. Ta-da! Yeah, totally. I don't think we could see you at all if the internet was down. So now we can just chat and drink coffee? Yeah, now we just chat and drink coffee. I guess we don't get to finish Softflex in January. We got to do it tomorrow. Well, that's okay, because then off camera I can put on these 5 beads and then I can just show you how to finish it, which is not hard. And then we'll be ready to move right into making these little bracelets. Because we have, the only thing left in this Softflex kit, we've used every bead, is these 2 little sparkly pave beads. And we're going to put those on the leather bracelets. I wish there was like, maybe I'll just make 1 bracelet. I said I was going to make 2 because there's 2 beads. And I think it's weird to put 2 beads on. But maybe I'll find a bead I can put in the middle and then I can put them on 1 bracelet, which would be better, I think. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe 1 is cute. Maybe it's just simple and whatever. What do you guys think? 1 or 2? 1 or 3? Not 2. 1 or 3? Oh, the over the fence neighbor. What do you think is the best size of leather to work with? I love all the leather equally. I think there is one leather, there's like, I don't like to work with 0.5 leather. It just snaps. Every time I work with it, it just snaps. I don't work with that stuff. 1 millimeter is okay. I don't love it. I like to work with a 1.5 millimeter because I just feel like it's a little more sturdy, but it's also thicker. If you have beads that need to go on a 1 millimeter, it's kind of a thing. You got to make your beads work out with whatever strand of leather you're going to use. This is a 2 millimeter, which is, I like to make these leather bracelets we're going to make out of a 2 millimeter because why not? It's bigger. A lot of the times you're using a bigger bead. It's fun. I don't know. 3 millimeter is really hard to work with. When we get into like 4 millimeter, I don't tie knots with it anymore. Like 3 and 4 millimeter, I don't really try to tie knots with it. I mean, you can, but I don't. I will use like a leather end, you know, like a leather end with the crimp thing, because that's just easier. I'm arguing with myself. Yeah, I do that. Oh, hi, Lois. I'm hearing about how to sell your jewelry. Oh, yeah, so fair is an option. Fair is an option to sell your jewelry if you want to do that. Another option to sell your jewelry is to go to boutiques in your town and ask them if they like rent out space, or if they allow, you know, sellers to be, a lot of times like boutiques will allow sellers to put their stuff in their space. And up here in Minnesota, and I know it's different in other areas, but the average rate for that is like 25. They're gonna take like up here they take like I think it's 25% of your sale, sometimes 30, like 20 to 30% is pretty normal. They take that of your sale. Then they'll charge you an additional space rent usually, which is like $25 or something, like nothing crazy, like $25 a month. If they restock it, so they'll usually, like up here, they'll give me an option, like if I want to restock it myself, it's fine. If I want them to restock it, sometimes there's a fee for that, like a $10 fee. So that means that I could just bring them a bunch of stuff and drop it off, and they would put it out as they see fit. If they have special tagging that they use, and a lot of times they'll give you like a password to their system to where you could like basically put your items into their SKU list. Especially if they sell online and in store, they'll give you permission to go onto their website, log into your account, and put your items into the SKU list. And then when you take your items to the store, they can just log into your SKU list and print out your price stickers. And then you can either price them or you can have them price them. A lot of times when you're having them do any work, they're gonna charge you a fee for that. So sometimes it's like a $10, $20 fee to price and stock your items into their store. You then pay the rent and you give them 25 to 30% of the sale. So it seems like a lot of money, but that is why when you go to a boutique, a small business boutique, things are more expensive there. It's because the artists who's making these things are having to pay out this money for all these services to get their jewelry in front of people. But if you have, like, say you make something, there's a gal up here, a friend of mine, well, she moved away now, but her name was Lynn, and she used to stock for a lot of boutiques around here, like a lot. And she made handmade pearl necklaces, and they were really simple. They were just like leather, they were on a leather strand with the taco fold over clasps, the stainless steel ones, on a leather strand, and then it was just one pearl, wire wrapped, like no fancy wire wrapping, just like wire wrapped on like a, I assume it was like a stainless steel or some kind of like sterling silver, something or other, like some fancy wire. And that's all it was. And she would sell those for like, in the store, I think they were like $45. But she was also paying out all that additional money. So whatever additional money in fees that these people are charging you, you then add that money onto the price of your item, because that is an expense. Most places around here in VA charge 30% as a commission on your sales. Yes, that's pretty standard, Mary. Taylor's Falls charges 30%. What would you say is the best place to start? How I started when I started selling in stores is I just went to stores that are like boutique stores, okay? So like, there's one here in town called the Calico Moose, and it's a, you know, you could tell boutique store versus like a big box store. You go into a boutique and you just ask them like, hey, are you guys renting a space for sellers? Are you looking for artists? You could take them a business card, or you could even just go with your items and say, hey, can I talk to a manager? I am a handmade maker. I was wondering if you'd be interested in looking at some of my items, maybe selling them in your store. And a lot of times these stores already have set up systems where they do this with other people. Like they do it with a lot of people, with vendors, they call them. You would then be a vendor for their store. So what happens is when you do that and they accept you, they have a contract. So you're gonna wanna read over that contract, and you're gonna wanna make sure that that is, because if there's ever an issue, I mean, this is a legally binding document. And I've been in the position where I'm like, oh yeah, exciting, like you're gonna sell my stuff or whatever, and then they started breaking the contract by not paying me, not to mention any names. And I'm like, hey, it says in this contract, you're gonna pay me on the 5th of every month. So now, I mean, like, you wanna make sure those specific things are in your contract. You guys know what contracts are about. So anyway, if you don't, you can look on like LegalZoom. I think it's LegalZoom is the name of it. Anyways, to look at contract stuff that should be in the contract. And it's going to say in there how much they're going to charge you for what services, lottie-dottie. You're going to sign that. And then, according to whatever they say, like as an example, in Center City, I have stuff down there. And they kind of are really relaxed because it's small. It's really small. There's a lot of boutiques in this Minnesota area. There's a lot of crafters here. So there's a lot of vendors. So on all these little towns, they all kind of have these like little boutique shops and they even have, I don't know what they call it. It's like a crawl, you know, you used to do a pub crawl and you used to go to like different bars. They do that here with craft stores or boutiques. So it's like a boutique crawl. So you go to different ones in all these different towns. Anyway, so it's really small. They're really lax. So I just go in there and I just restock all my own stuff. I even took my own display door, like my own display door where I hang up all my stuff, and I just go in there and I just make sure it's priced and I just stock it. And they have me set at like a rate, like a 25% rate or whatever, and then they just pay me every month on a certain day. It's usually set up to like a PayPal, or you can get a check if you want to, like whatever. And they just pay you one time a month, and that's what they do. It kind of depends on each place and what they have going on. Like this place down here is way different. They're not as lax. Their rules are a lot more, and they like to have their stuff in the SKU list. I have to make it available online. Me and Shannon do that in their system. And then they want price tags. They want all the stuff in their store to have the same price tag. So we make the SKU list here. We go down there, print out the SKU list. She gives us the price tags. We price everything. But they want to display it themselves. Like that's part of it. Like they don't want us to try to display it because they have a way their store is supposed to look. So that's the thing. Hi. This is very helpful information. Good. I'm just blabbering on because my camera doesn't work. What would you say is the best place to start? Do you put your jewelry in at Taylor's Falls? No, I do not put my jewelry in at Taylor's Falls because Taylor's Falls has, as you know, they are not online and they're very vintage. So they have like a vintage cash register, they don't have a computer system or anything. They have a vintage cash register. They put everything in manually, and it's not itemized or anything like that. It's just a receipt that pops out. And on the cash register, there's only X amount of buttons, and those buttons are reserved for the people who work there. That's part of their, like, who are working in the store, like Amber and Cassie and, you know, the gals who are working in the store. They're allowed to put their items into the store as part of an incentive for to work there, their payment. So they're the only people who are allowed to do that. I think that I asked Jeff about it a couple of years ago, and he didn't have any buttons available at the time. Because so everybody gets a button because everybody has a different percentage, and since it's like a manual cash register. So like if somebody checked out and this was mine, they would ring it up and then they would go, oh, and this is Randy's, because that's how they keep track of their money, you know? So, but no, I don't. If I could, I would, because I think that would be great. We don't do contracts. Uh-oh. Hi, LaVerl. Yeah, I do. The contract is good. The contract is to protect you. You want to make sure you're upholding your part of the contract, and you want to make sure that they are upholding their part of the contract. I feel like sometimes, especially around here, I've ran into this a lot. Like people feel like maybe if they're not, if they're just starting out or something, they're like, oh, they feel really like, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a word. There's a word. Like honored, I guess. Like they feel really honored. Like, oh, this store asked me to put my stuff in their, to sell in their store, and they're really like, nice and happy about it and honored that they'd been asked or that they were accepted or whatever. Okay, that's great and everything, but at the end of the day, that is a business transaction, and you have responsibilities as the vendor, but they also have responsibilities, as the store. So if you're vending, like as an example that happened to me, I was doing all my things. I was keeping my SKU list, taking my stuff down there, doing all the things they asked me to do. And then when pay time came around, they were like, oh, we don't have the money to pay you this month. I was like, that's not how this works. According to this contract, you're supposed to pay me on the 5th. And then they were like, well, we just need you to understand, because it's small here in Minnesota, right? Like in Cambridge, it's a small place. And I'm like, you need to understand, you start messing with my money, we're going to have a problem, and I will take this little contract down to the lawyer's office, and we're going to have a bigger problem than you want. You need to pay me. Because, first of all, they should not be spending my commission money to keep, because she sent a whole thing. Oh, it was bad, whole thing. We got to keep our lights on, and da-da-da. Don't you care about people? No, I do not care about people. Not when you're not, I don't care about you keeping your lights on. You should not be spending my money to keep your lights on. That's not how that works. Your books shouldn't be kept like that. No. I'm not going to pay for you to keep your store open. That's not why I'm in this game. So I quit that. We agreed to quit the contract. And then other vendors who were vending there never got paid. We're out. Some people out thousands of dollars. And that's because they were like, didn't understand the contract, didn't realize like when you have a contract with somebody, that contract works both ways. You have to uphold your end and they have to uphold their end. And if they don't, then they can be sued. Good morning. Good morning, Susan. Yeah. So that's something that I learned working at the boutique part of it, but honestly, I had one problem with one boutique. And I think that is because that person who owned that boutique was just not, I think they were new and they weren't really sure how to run their business. Like they didn't really know how to run it because they didn't realize that things that they were doing were inappropriate. But all the other contracts that I have and have had in the past with boutiques have been good. Most of them are really like laid back or whatever. They're just like, yeah, you can come in and stock whenever you want, but it's little here. Like I said, it's little. It's like I don't even know how many people are in this town. Like less than 5,000 people. I mean, it's little. In other places, I've been even smaller. So they're pretty like laid back, whatever. In bigger places, it's a little more kind of like corporate-y. Like in Minneapolis, there was this place downtown. What was the name of that place? I don't remember the name of it. But I went in there and I wanted to be a vendor with them. I did not get accepted. But I think that it was probably good because they had like a lot of stipulations. And they wanted to take 40%. And I was just like, no. Oh, other fun facts. People cannot raise your percentage rate if you have it in a contract. They can't just call you and be like, if you're in a contract for 25%, they're going to take 25% of your sale. They can't just call you and be like, oh, we're upping the percentage for all the vendors and we're gonna start taking 40%. They can't do that. They have a contract. They can't just be like, oh, this month we took 40% because we're raising our rates and we're taking, no. There has to be a 60-day notice. And usually those are things that are in the contract, and that's something that you want to make sure is in the contract. Because you don't want to just show up and be like, where's my money? And they don't have it. Because that happened to me. Other fun things, yeah. So you could just go in the boutiques and ask if that's a thing. You could try Fair, which is a wholesale website. I'm sure there's other wholesale websites as well for like handmade makers. So I would say like the wholesale, you probably end up making more money wholesale, but you're also going to end up selling your items. So you're not going to be selling to like the public. You're not going to be selling to like Susan. You're going to be selling to like a company. You're going to be selling to like Thunderhorse Descendant. And the company is going to say, okay, we want 150 of these pairs of earrings. So the batches are going to be larger. You got to make sure that you're able to create that many in that time frame, la-di-da, whatever it is, for usually 50% of less of what you would normally charge at a show. So let's say you're like, I charge $12 for my earrings at the show. In a wholesale agreement to a company, I would be charging $6 per pair. And then if they ordered over X amount of pair, they could get an additional discount. So let's say they wanted 200 pairs of earrings, sell each one of those at $6. But if they order 300 pairs of earrings, then the earrings are only going to be $3 a piece. So that's part of the incentive for people to buy wholesale from you. But also you're then selling 300 pairs of earrings when maybe you go to the show and you're only selling 5 pairs of earrings. Even though those 5 pair are at full price of $12, over here selling 300 pair at $3 is a lot more money. So that's the thing. Yeah. Etsy, if you want to try Etsy, Etsy is a lot of work. I think it was Deborah had mentioned that Etsy is a lot of work. When I started out, so I started out on Etsy, and I think for people who are starting out, it is a good platform. I struggle with Etsy because for my personal experience, I got to a point where they I don't know, like I don't know what happened. They were flagging me. They're changing rules. They're always changing all these rules, and they're flagging me for like selling bone beads, and they're flagging me for selling African trade beads or whatever. But it's like everybody on Etsy sells these things. Like if you go on Etsy right now, there's somebody on there selling bone beads. So how come you're telling me I can't sell bone beads? Like I don't understand. So then they send you this thing and they shut down that listing, and then they have to review it, and sometimes that takes up to 10 days. And then they review it, and then they see like, oh, okay, it's fine because it's not actually in violation of their policy, and that was just making me mad. But also they take, when I left Etsy, they were taking 6% of your sale. I think that might have went up now. They take 6% of the sale plus all the fees, which basically breaks down to be about 15 to 20% depending on how much you're charging for shipping and how much they're taking from shipping, because Etsy is taking a fee from shipping. Now that all sounds like you're like, oh, that's not good, but in all actuality, if we take a look at this, it's not horrible, especially for somebody who's starting out who doesn't, number one, know how to do their sales taxes, because Etsy will remit your sales taxes for you for all the states, because you have to do that. Then now there's Nexus, the tax law has changed. But like, they're going to remit all that stuff. They're going to keep track of that stuff for you. You don't have to worry about that. It's basically going to be on autopilot. What else are they going to do? Their website, because it's a marketplace, is always updating. You know how we are having our issue right now on Square, how it's not updating and like people are having problems. It's because it's not updating every minute. Etsy updates the whole server every minute. So that's why you could put something on there and it'll pop right up. They have templates. You can get a website. Like you basically need no startup money. On some of these other places, you need startup money. Like you have to pay for your template. You have to know how to do coding. You have to know how to do your own taxes. You need to know what you need to do in order to get your e-commerce shop running. Whereas Etsy is basically an out-of-the-box selling platform. Like you could start an Etsy shop today and make money. On these other places, because you're not paying as much money in fees and all these other things, you have to create all that stuff yourself. But the downfall is that then Etsy controls what you can sell. You know, they put you in front of who they want to. And if they decided like, we're just going to turn your shop off, they could do that. Whereas on another platform where like Square, they can't do that. They have no control over if my shop is open or my website is open or not. They have no control over what I'm selling on my website. If I decided to sell illegal items, that would be on me legally to take care of that. Etsy, on the other hand, has built-in safeguards. They're actually safeguards for you, because as laws are changing and things are changing and e-commerce is blowing up and everybody's ordering online, they're creating all these different laws. Like there are different laws about different states where you can sell things in certain states that you can't sell in other states. As an example, in the state of Minnesota, you cannot sell or purchase bear claws, like genuine bear claws. In Wisconsin, you can. In the state of Minnesota, you cannot purchase like calf hide, like on a purse, like, you know, it looks like a cow hide. You can't do that. In Wisconsin, you can. So like there is different laws, and so Etsy's got these safeguards that does flag you for this stuff. The problem is that when they changed the laws and they changed how Etsy was set up and all the copyright issues and stuff, like with the bottle caps that we had, they weren't managing it very well for me. Like, I don't have 10 days to sit around and wait for you to decide if I can sell this. Like, I need to sell this thing. And the problem that I had is most of the time it was just like in an algorithm. So it was like, it had the word bone in it. So they were flagging it. Then they would go back, they would look at it and they'd be like, oh yeah, this is okay for you to sell. And then they'd put it up on my website. But 10 days in, I'm not big enough to be waiting all that time. Like, if I got stuff to sell, I need to sell it by next week so that I can continue on with my business. So that was a problem. But if you're small and you're selling jewelry, Etsy is an out-of-the-box place where you could go and you could start out and you could build a community. That's what we did. That's what I did. I sold on Etsy, and then when I started selling and I was going to craft shows, then I got on YouTube, and then we built this community. And now I'm lucky enough where I can leave Etsy and leave all that stuff for me that isn't working, go to a different place, and my customers are going to come with me away from Etsy. If you don't have a customer base, starting a website is not a good idea for you. Like your own standalone website. You're going to want, if you don't have a customer base, because you're going to have to pay for marketing, and it's going to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month, probably thousands of dollars. And if you don't do it that way, you'll never make sales because there's no traffic going to your website. You might have people that you know, like in your life, who you know, like your mom and your, brother's wife and whatever, like whoever, your brother, they're going to go to your website because they know you personally, but you're going to get a few sales. That's not enough sales to keep your business going all the time. So you have to have a community of people, like you guys are my community of people who know about me. You know, I do my Monday sale every day or every Monday. You purchase from me. You feel good about purchasing from me because I'm a small business. Like we have that going on. If you don't have that, then there's going to be nobody ordering from your website unless you market it, and then you're doing what they call cold marketing. Cold marketing is where you're paying money out for the chance that somebody might click into your website. You're going to end up paying a lot of money that way, especially if you're new. And if you're new and you're paying for advertising, that's a double hit, because a lot of times people who are new don't know all the ins and outs of building their website. So you might end up in a situation where you forgot to put something in. As an example, like you forgot to add shipping, because you manually have to do that when you build your own, like when you're on your own thing. You forgot to add in the shipping. So now these people have purchased from you and they're not paying shipping. So now you're losing at least $5 on every order. Hopefully you catch that before you get 40 orders and you've lost $200, because you're also paying for the marketing for those people to get there. So by the time they get there, you've paid, I don't know, maybe $2 for each person who visits your website in hopes that they'll purchase something. So it's really hard. That's hard. Whereas with Etsy, they have built-in traffic because it's a platform. It's like Amazon. It's like eBay. It's like if people want something handmade, they go, oh, I'll go to Etsy. So there's already people there who want to buy stuff. That was their purpose of going to Etsy in the first place. Their purpose was to go find something to buy. That's like a warm situation because they're already ready to buy. That now we just have to get them in front of them. You know what I mean? Brown deer with white spots, overly populated. What? I've always believed word of mouth is the best advertising. I've never heard of access deer. Access deer. stools and floors. Grizzly bears are abundant, hard no. Are an absolute hard no, but black bears are legal. Yeah, see, there's all these different rules. Anyways, so this is what I'm saying is like what I did, how I started Thunderhorse Descendant was real easy. I was all stressed out at work. I was all stressed out at work because I was a drug counselor. And then I would come home and I'd be like, I'm going to be creative and I'm going to do all my things. And pretty soon I had all this jewelry made. And Jeff was like, remember that little tiny apartment we lived in that was 450 square feet? Jeff was like, what are you doing with all of this stuff? We do not have space for all this stuff. What are you going to do? You better get to a craft show or go do something. And I was like, oh yeah, craft show, that'd be fun. So I was like, I'm going to do a craft show. So I got started looking for a craft show. And I was like, oh yeah, I'll do a craft show. So I did that. And then I think I made a little bit of money and I was like, cool. So I bought some more beads and made some more stuff. Then pretty soon, Jeff was like, we got to do something. So I was like, I'm going to start an Etsy store. So that was in 2015. So I started an Etsy store. And I was selling a little bit of stuff. Pretty soon I started selling more stuff every month. So I was making like few extra $100 a month. I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then I started doing Facebook Live for my jewelry people. And we would do, just like we do now, we would do giveaways, we would, do drawings, whatever. We would hang out on the live feed. And then I was making like $1,000 a month. And I was like, hey, I'm gonna go part-time at my job. So I went part-time at my job, and then I started making a couple $1,000 a month. And then I was like, I'm gonna quit my job. And Jeff was scared to death. That's what happened. He was just like, you're gonna do what now? And I was like, I'm gonna quit my job. And he was like, all right. He's like, I think you could do it. And I was like, okay. So I quit. And when I quit, I doubled up on doing shows and selling in boutiques. And then I was selling jewelry, and I sold jewelry all the way up until when the pandemic hit. Basically, like, I was selling a little bit of beads, but not a lot. Like, it was just people that I knew who were beading, and they were like, oh, hey, are you going there? You're going to go to Taylor's Falls? Can you pick something up for me? And I'm like, sure. And then they're far away or whatever, so I'll be like, oh, I'll just put it on my website, you can order it, and then I'll ship it to you. And they're like, oh, yeah, okay. So then I started doing that. Then also during the pandemic, Jeff set up YouTube for me, and he was like, you should have your YouTube channel. And I was like, I don't want a YouTube channel. That sounds like a lot of work. I don't want to do that. And he was like, yeah, well, you should still just have it so that later, if you do decide that you want it, nobody can take Thunderhorse Descendant's name, and like have a YouTube channel. And I was like, oh, yeah. So he set it up. And about that time when I started doing YouTube videos is when I got called up for Jesse James. And Jesse James, I worked for them for like a year, doing videos and stuff like on Facebook, because I was already familiar with doing Facebook Live videos. So I started doing that, and then I was working for some other bead companies, and I was just doing stuff. And then I was like, well, people are not buying jewelry anymore because it was pandemic time, and so I was like, well, I guess I'll just sell beads because they seem to still want to buy those. So then I started buying beads because I don't have another job. This is what I do. So that's how that kind of happened. And all the while, I was on Etsy. Now, I tried to get off Etsy a couple of times. I went to Shopify, went to Wix, I went to Square, I went to, I don't even know, some other places. And that's how I learned all these really hard lessons about, like, do you have a big enough following to support you without having to pay for advertising? Do you know how to set up a store? Do you know all the legalities of setting up a store, like having the shipping in there, making sure your sales tax is set up, making sure, like all these things that you have to have. And, excuse me. Versus basically the trade-off is allowing Etsy to have control over my business. They have their ups and their downs, their ins and their outs. All sites have that. But I don't want them to tell me, you can't sell that. And I'm like, well, I can, because according to your policies, like I don't want to have to fight them over their own policies, because it's just an algorithm. When you get flagged on Etsy, it's just an algorithm. It's not a real person who's messing with you. Then they call in a real person to look at it, and then they go, oh, it's fine. But like I said, I don't have time for that because I'm not that big. I think doing what you love is so important. Yes, I like doing craft fairs. I like doing craft fairs if I have help. A lot of times, up until like 3 years ago, I did all my craft shows by myself. Because me and Jeff used to fight so bad. Because I was a perfectionist. Because I was new at doing craft shows, and I was like, I wanted everything to be perfect, and I wanted it to be like, in my head I was like, it has to be perfect, because if it's not going to draw in the people. If it doesn't look nice, it's not going to get their attention, you know. And Jeff's like, not that he doesn't care, because he does care, but that he just would, like, we used to first of all we used to fight over control, like, because he'd be like, oh, let's put this over here, and I'd be like, no, I don't want it over there, can we put it over here? Then he'd put it over there anyways, and I'm just like, why So there was that. Then we got over that. Then it was like, I wanted everything, I was being this perfectionist, and I was crabby, and he was like, I'm not going to help you if you're going to be crabby. So there was that. Then we got over that. And then now I'm kind of more laid back, because I'm just like, okay, I don't have to be so like uptight, and everything doesn't have to be perfect, and we don't have to be, you know, ready to go. Like, I like to be on time. I like to be prompt. I like to be set up when the show opens, but it shouldn't be like a stressful situation. So now it's a little bit easier, and I have Shannon, and also, like I've discussed with you guys, like I've tried to streamline my process. I used to have in my head, like, because I would see these other people at the shows, and everything just looked kind of like bare, and kind of like they didn't even really try. They just got there, they put a table, they threw a tablecloth on it, and they were just like, here's some stuff. And I'm just like, seems, I mean, it looked nice, but it didn't look like, I don't know, it didn't look like they put a lot of effort into it. And I used to put a lot of effort into my craft show setup. And then I realized, like, this is part of what's stressing me out. And this is probably why these people don't do that. So I got the tablecloths that you just throw over that are fitted, right? Highly recommend. I don't even press them anymore. I just roll them. I roll them instead of fold them so they don't get all wrinkly. It's fine. I am so picky. I'm glad my hubby is helpful. I don't have any more room to store it. Yeah, Deborah, see, that's what happened to me. But yeah, so I just got over all that stuff, and I streamlined my craft show process, and I got myself a little tackle box. Highly recommend. Got myself this little tackle box. It's like a jump bag. It has all my craft show stuff in there, like, you know, your little pins you might need, and your tape, and your marker, and your scissors, and your all that stuff. And I just keep that ready to go. I don't ever unpack it. I just keep it with the craft show stuff. I restock it the day before I go if I have to. So it's just this little tackle box of stuff. So I just have to take that. I got a little cooler with wheels. Highly recommend. I got foldable tables. They're $80 at Walmart, but they're totally worth it. If you get 6-foot tables, you can do an entire, like, the math works out where you can fit that in. You can fit 3 tables into a 10-foot space. Yeah. You could do an L. If you get 8-foot tables, you can do a nice L in a 10-foot space. Generally, the spaces are like 10 foot by 10 foot. So these are just all things that I learned as I started doing shows. As far as being at shows, like, it kind of depends on the room, you know, like, sometimes, like, up here in Minnesota, people don't want you to talk to them. They don't care. They don't want to know about all your stuff. So I just say, hi, I'm Randy. I made everything. If you have any questions, let me know. I made all this stuff. It's all made with genuine stone and la-di-da. If you have any questions, let me know. Don't forget to take a card. We're having a giveaway. That's what I say. I don't get into it with them or whatever, because people up here are very standoffish. They just want to look at your stuff. They don't want to be bothered. They just want to, that's what they want to do. But that's why I put that little scanny thing on my card, on my business card. And you can just scan it with your phone. So then they don't got to take anything with them. They don't have to be inconvenienced in any way. You just scan that, and then it'll take you right to the website, and you can sign up, do whatever, blah, blah, blah. These are just, that's just the way it is. So, anyway, that's stinky. Registration for craft shows is usually between $50 and $65. Multiple day craft shows are more expensive. That is in Virginia. Yes. Up here in Minnesota, they can be anywhere from $20 to $220. For like a general show. If you go to a juried show, most of the time those are more expensive. Like I do a juried show at Hazleton usually. They haven't had it though since the pandemic hit. I don't know if they're gonna have it this year or not. That one's like $350. But here's a little tip. If you are looking at a show and it's even if it's not expensive, if you're looking at a show and you go, especially if you do shows a lot and they know, you know how like if you do shows over and over again, a couple years, people get to go, they get to thinking, oh, I will go, Heather is going to be there with whatever her name is of her company. She's going to be there at the show. She's there every year, and we always get bath bombs or bracelets or whatever, you know. So eventually, once you get into that routine, like I did with Hazleton, I sent them a little message, and I said, because the last year I was there, this girl came up to me. She was in the booth next to me, and she goes, oh my God, I'm so glad that you're next to me. It's just luck of the draw. Everybody was fighting over who was going to be next to Thunderhorse Descendant, because Thunderhorse Descendant is a big draw at this fair. We're a big draw because we're really close to Taylor's Falls, and the Taylor Falls girls help me move all the rocks, so I have more rocks to sell. We get a double space, whatever, and we're there every year. So I said to the gal who runs it, I was like, hey, so I hear that Thunderhorse Descendant is a big draw for this craft show, and I was wondering if maybe we can just come for free. She said yes. Never hurt to ask. Wow, that's the business to be in. Just run craft shows out of your yard. I thought about that. Remember I was telling you about I want to have a building like where I sell beads like for reals in person, like a brick and mortar. I want to buy the Perkins. I want to buy the Perkins so bad, but Jeff said we cannot because it's zoned for restaurant business. And I said, you can make hamburgers, or we can have a hamburger stand, and we'll have all the booths for beading, and you can come and eat your hamburgers. That's all we're going to have is hamburgers. Maybe some fries. And salad. That's it. That's all we're having. And then we can use the whole parking lot to rent out as craft show space. We can have craft shows every weekend. It would be great. Same here in Montana. Low is $25. Most I've paid for is $400 for a 2-day weekend. I know. I'm thinking about going to the county fair, like being at the county. Here's my thing about the fair. I think that would be cool, and I'd probably make a lot of money there, but it's 4 days. And to be quite honest with you, I don't have 4 days in me. Not at a craft show. I've done 2-day craft shows, and I'm like dead, dying. Don't want to work anymore. Just can't even stand being in the booth. Because it's just, I'm like 4 days, there's no way. I would have to maybe have Shannon help me, because it takes 2 of us to run the booth, at least 2 of us. If me and Jeff and Shannon both all worked it, even if we took shifts, like, I just don't think I could do it. Where's some passive money is to own the building and rent it out monthly. Oh, I do that too, PK. I have rental property in North Dakota, so I'm already doing that. You and I have the same dream. Yes, I'm just going to tell you this one last thing, I'm going to get off this internet, because we're not even beading anyway. My dream is to have a brick and mortar bead store. I want there to be a place to have food, lunch. So this is like a place, this is for the beady people. This is like beady people home base. You can come, hang out, bring your own beads, bring your own food, bring your own friends, whatever you want to do. Little booths for everybody, sit, whatever, big tables for people to congregate, coffee, the whole bit, okay? And then over here we have like the store part where we sell beads. There's beads all over. If you need beads, you came, you're gonna make something, you need beads, you get your beads, whatever. You get your stuff, you got all your stuff. Classes, we could do classes, whatever, whoever is there that day just happened to be there, you could do class stuff. And then Jeff can make hamburgers, we could have the big parking lot, and we could have craft shows every weekend, we could be part of Art Fest, like all that business, and just like a cool like shop and hang out. And then we have Shannon in the back doing the online sales. She can manage the online, we'll get her an assistant to help her. And then she could be doing that, and I could just be like front desk lady, just like hanging out, ordering things online. That's what I want to do. Before our local bead shop closed, it was a place to hang out as a beader, and we were the best customers because we always need something. Yeah, see, that's what I want to do, PK. And then all of you could come. You could fly into the Minneapolis airport or St. Cloud, whatever you prefer. And you could come to Cambridge and you could just hang out at the beading place. You could stay in the little hotel over there and you could just come to the beading place every day and just hang out all day, do beading, whatever. I'll be doing YouTube videos and this and that and things and stuff, and Jeff will be cooking. And you'll have all the animals there, so must like animals. And it'll be great. I would visit, right? On the weekends, we got that big parking lot. We could have one of those bands that you bring in on the trailer, you know, the flat bed trailer. You put the band up there. We could have one of those. We just tow it away when we're done. I'm thinking it's a great idea. A reading nook, a coffee bar, painting area, and a huge bead shop. Yeah, we could have all those things too, Belinda. Sounds like the best time. Design on the fly shop. Oh, it's so good, PK, but I don't know if somebody has that trademarked. I'm assuming they do. If they don't, we should buy that. Design on the fly. Things and stuff. I kind of want to call it things and stuff. Shannon gets so mad when I want to call things that. I want something to be things and stuff. Let's just do it. Thunderhorse Descendant, things and stuff. Come on in, whatever. Because it's like things and stuff. It's like you want to bead, you want to paint, you want to do whatever, you need a hamburger. It's like things and stuff. You guys. One day, one necklace at a time. That's what we're going to do. It's true. Right? And design on the fly beads and fishing gear. Oh yes, because I have my own fishing line. Yeah, so that's the thing. There was another thing I was going to say about it, but I forgot now. It was important, and then I got distracted. Oh, I'm kind of hoping that YouTube will pay for it. I'm kind of hoping, like, eventually on YouTube, we'll just make enough money where YouTube will pay for it. But you know what that means? In the interim, I got to just keep making videos. Because once I get so many videos and they're all monetized, and then when anybody ever watches them, then I'll make like $2 or something. And that'll be great because like maybe in 10 years from now, I'll be making like a couple $1,000s a month from YouTube, or maybe more than that. And then we'll just make YouTube pay our rent at the bead place. That's the plan. We'll see what happens. I think I'm doing pretty good thus far. Oh, that's what it was. I was going to tell you guys, if you want to do a passive income, which I need to stop talking about this and just do it with all my extra time. But if you are looking to do a passive income job, a thing you can do is you can do digital designs on Etsy. So it might take a little savviness, but if you have like someone to help you set that up, it's really not hard at all. And you can do a digital design business, especially if you already have like a Cricut. If you design on the Cricut, because that stuff is hard and nobody wants to do that. They would prefer to just purchase the design. Like me, I'm just like, I'll just purchase the design. It's $3, that's fine. So if you know how to design on the Cricut, you can put those designs up on Etsy, especially if they're yours, and you can charge people $3 for it, and that's passive income because you've done the work one time and people can continuously buy it because it's digital. Stickers, like anything digital designs, anything at all, like for cards, for mugs, for whatever. Sometimes if you're a part of design bundles, what is it? Bead bundle? No, bead bundles. Not beads. Design bundles. Design bundles is a place of graphics, and you can like take those graphics, you can like switch them up a little bit. You can make your own graphics using their program, and then you can put those on Etsy and sell those. And then you've done the work one time, and then people can just buy it. And so that's probably a thing I should do. You could, Canva, we all have Canva people. If you don't have Canva and you are selling beadwork and such and things, get on Canva. It's free. You can make all of your marketing, all of your little posters, all those little ads and things. It's really easy. Just sign up for Canva. But if you have Canva and you pay for Pro, you don't even have to pay for Pro. You can do it free. But if you pay for Pro, you're going to get different templates, which might sell better. But you can do like planner pages, document pages, chore wheels, anything like that. And you can put those downloads for sale on Etsy where people can then pay to download them. Maybe they want an entire planner, like this one. I ordered this on Etsy. This was all made on Canva from a gal. It was $80 for this entire book. But I didn't want to go through and make all these papers that are geared towards my business, how to run my business, how to keep track of my business stuff, my money, my everything, my social media, all that stuff. So she had it available in a download, or I could have her actually print the book. So on Canva, if you create these things, you can just go over to the side and go, yeah, print it. And then a printer will print it and send it to you. So you could, she designed the cover on Canva with my logo. She picked out this background. She sent it on Canva. They sent it to her. She sent it to me. $80. If you have any kind of design skills at all, or you want to try it, you can have passive money in your Etsy shop. So I want to start it, but I literally just don't have time to do it. I'm just like, I was supposed to be off this show 18 minutes ago, and I have like every minute of this day planned out until about 9 o'clock tonight. So I don't want to do anything after 9 o'clock today. So I'm just like, no, I don't think I can have passive income. My inspiration bundle bracelet is scheduled to play at 10 a.m. Woohoo! I'm excited. Thank you for doing a video with our inspiration kit. I love it. Did you tag me? Just tag me in the YouTube. Thanks so much for all the useful information today. I'm glad the camera went on strike. Yeah, now I deleted it. I'm gonna have to have Jeff come down here and fix it. Yeah, I've got all kinds of information. I could just talk. These are all just based on my experiences that I've had. And I do a lot of research on like, because I never went to school for business, so I do a lot of research on like e-commerce and stuff like that because I never went to school for this. I went to school for other things. So happy to be here and for the information today. It's really helped. Awesome. Okay. Tomorrow we are going to finish Softflex, and then Wednesday, dollar bead box. This came in the mail. I really want to open it. So we were going to open this tomorrow, but now I guess we're going to open it. Maybe not. A couple days from now, after we get this done. You can only have so many boxes going at a time. All right, you guys. I hope you all have a wonderful, spectacular, amazing beading day. If you did make a custom order, I posted them all last night from yesterday. please swing over to my website and grab yours up. Shannon is in the basement shipping all the ones that came in yesterday. So those are going out. Don't forget to share your FOC photos, your inspirational bead bundle photos. Rosanna, can you share your photos too, if you have photos in the group? Because I can't do the video thing. Like, I want to put you on the list and have like photos for the video. You know what I'm talking about? For the inspirational bundle. And don't forget, if you're not doing any of those things, just hashtag hashtag what's on my mat today. What's on my mat today for sharing. Okay. Thanks for the chat. Yes, lovely. Lots of information. Enjoyed the time. Yes. I hope you all have a lovely, spectacular, amazing beading day. And I will see you tomorrow. Yeah, I'll see you tomorrow.